everyone, welcome back to Design Basics. Today I thought I'd show you a card using the stamp set called Vintage Vogue. We're going to use this flower image, we're going to use the small flower, we're going to use the leaf, and we're going to use this greeting right here. What I've already done is I've taken a piece of shimmery white cardstock and I've stamped our greeting in basic black down in the bottom. Now I'm going to take and show you my sketch. Look at this sketch real quick. This is our sketch, just a rectangular base. I must have been in a hurry because this page is kind of sloppy. We're going to have a rectangular base and then another rectangular layer. And see where it says large focal? I'm going to create a large focal out of this one image. Okay, so what I have is my shimmery white, and I'm going to use an ink color called Rich Razzleberry. It's one of the inline colors. I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to take a piece of scrap cardstock, and I'm going to stamp that off. And I'm going to stamp it off twice because this is such a dark color of ink. This flower does have words on it, so I'm going to try to get those going in the right direction. See how dark that is even after stamping it off twice? Do that again. Actually, I'm going to stamp it off 3 times this time, and this will give me more layers. See how that overlaps? We could use a masking technique to cover that up, but I'm really not too worried about it, and I'll show you why. I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to go in with some Old Olive. And with my Old Olive, I'm not going to stamp off. It's not quite as dark as the Rich Razzleberry. I'm going to ink up my leaf. I love these clear stamps because I can see exactly where I'm stamping. So I don't have to worry about getting it on the flowers. Okay, just like that. Might squeeze a little half one down here. There we go. Okay, so that's really just to give us some filler for the background. I'm going to go ahead and put this on my card, and then I'll show you. Wipe this off. Okay, so I'm going to take my cardstock and put adhesive on it. You can tell I didn't like my greeting. It was a little crooked, so I re-stamped it. Now I have my card base. My card base is Rich Razzleberry. Then there's a layer of Old Olive. Then there is a layer of Cottage Wall Designer paper. Then there is another layer of Rich Razzleberry, then Old Olive, then shimmery white again. And if we look back at our sketch, there was some ribbon at the top. So what I did was I took the little slot punch and I punched that. You won't be able to get through all 3 layers. 2 is maybe the maximum you can get through. So let me take my ribbon. I have a piece of Rich Razzleberry polka dotted. Slide this in. Ideally you'd do this before you put it together, but I tried to have this much done so the video wasn't quite as long. There we go. And actually having it on the card base is kind of nice because it keeps it from moving around so much. Now I'm going to take a piece of Old Olive gross grain ribbon and I'm going to tie that in a knot. Just like that. Once you get it tight, you can adjust it and slide it around. Then I can slide that down, snug it up. Get rid of all this excess ribbon. I'm even going to cut these off a little bit at the top. Cute card, huh? Isn't that fun? Okay, so there's our card. Now, what I wanted to point out to you is this is a cute card and it looks fine, but your eye has a hard time figuring out where to land. You have the ribbon, and because it's so intense, the color of it is so intense, that's where your eye is automatically drawn. And these colors kind of are almost washed out looking, which is why I stamped them off. I really wanted that, and you'll see why in just a second. But then we have this triangle going on, which triangles are a good thing, but it's a little confusing to the eye. So what I wanted to do was bring in a focal point that was undeniably a focal point. So what I did was I took a piece of shimmery white and I stamped just full intensity of the ink with the rich raspberry and on the flower, and I cut that out. Then I stamped the small flower in Orchid Opulence, and I cut that out as well. And I put those two together with a clear rhinestone brad. And to curl the edges, this is kind of fun. You can use, what I used was my paper piercing tool. Just wrap it around. You can also use your bone folder, but I find if I do that, I have to turn it over. Just roll your thumb across the top of it. And then you can do the same thing with the small ones. You could use a little wooden skewer. That works really well also. Okay, but what I want to show you here, here's a little tip also. The brad, the back of the brad, the little prongs that are hanging over, before you put your adhesive on, if you'll make sure that they're hidden, then put your dimensional on top. It'll keep those prongs from sliding out and sneaking and peeking out from underneath the petals on the other side. So let me take the paper back off my dimensional. Now notice there's our card. Looks fine. But notice how it really pops when we add our flower. This is full intensity, it's layered, it has the brad, it has the two colors from the cardstock that are brought in. We brought the green in with the ribbon and the cardstock here. But notice how much more impact this one addition of this little flower, it just takes you a few minutes to stamp and cut out, makes a difference to the card. It makes really all the difference in the world. It just adds more dimension. Again, I can't overemphasize how important having dimension on your card is. What a big difference it'll make. So there's our card. Here's our original sketch. And I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you next time for more Design Basics. Thanks for joining me.